Hey y'all, I hope you are doing well today. In this video, I'm going to show you how I make this gorgeous copper braided and twisted bracelet. Whether you just want to see how this bracelet is made or you just want to create one for yourself, this video is for you. So come along for the ride and let's get ready to be creative. The materials we'll need for this project are as follows. We'll need 20 gauge wire, 6 pieces cut at 14 inches in length. We'll also need 2 pieces cut at 17 inches in length. You will need a spring clamp or something that you can hold your wires while braiding them. You will need a pair of flush cutters, a pair of chain nose pliers, a pair of round nose pliers, a pair of looping pliers, or a pair of round nose pliers or some type of mandrel, a chasing hammer, a bench block, and a drill. The drill will be used for twisting the wires together. To see a complete list of the materials I am using in this video, you can also check out the description of this video down below. Now let's get started on this project. So to get started, we're going to grab the 2 pieces of 17-inch 20 gauge wire and a drill. So to start, we are going to insert the ends of these 2 pieces of wire into the drill chuck, like so. And then we're going to tighten that down. Some drills have a key to tighten the chuck down, or there's the twist, like I'm doing here, the twist chuck. You need to make sure they're nice and secure in there. Give them a good little tug to make sure they're not going to come out. And then I'm going to grab my chain nose pliers, and we're just going to grab a hold of the end of these wires kind of deep into the jaw of the chain nose pliers, like I've done here, and you're going to grab on pretty snug. And then we're just going to go ahead and press the button forward to start the twisting process. I like to go a little bit slow, so I'm not going too fast. If you twist this too tightly, it will snap your wire. So you need to make sure that you're not doing too tight of a twist. And that takes some time to get used to figure out when to stop your drill. So here I've got the wire all twisted nice and evenly all the way down. And now I'm just going to remove that twisted wire from my drill. And here you can see that final twist. I like doing it in the drill because it comes out nice and uniform and it just looks really good. You could do this by hand, it would just take a little longer. Now we're going to grab our 6 pieces of 20 gauge wire that have been cut at 14 inches in length, and we're going to insert those into our spring clamp. A spring clamp just helps hold everything tight, and we're going to push those wires back down in there so there's about 3 inches inside of that clamp. And now we're going to separate these wires in pairs. So we're going to have 2 on the left, 2 in the middle, and 2 on the right. Now grabbing the pair of wires on the right, I'm going to place them over the middle pair of wires and put it between the other 2 pairs of wires. And now I'm going to grab the leftmost pair, go over the middle pair, and place it between the other 2 wires. The other 2 pairs of wires, like so. So now continuing on, we're going to grab the two right most wires and bring them over the top of that middle wire again. And now the left two most wires over the top of the middle wire. And we're going to continue this pattern the whole way up. Another thing to note is you need to make sure that your wires are flat up against each other, side by side. You don't want them to twist at all. It will just make it look more messy, and you want that nice, neat, flat appearance. So try to keep your wires right next to each other as you do this, and you keep working your way up until you get to the desired length. The one I've made in this video is about a 7 to a 7.5 inch length bracelet. If you all enjoy watching my videos and you want to help support my channel, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe to my channel. That would really help me out a lot, and it's completely free. I really appreciate it, you guys. Thanks. So here's the completed braid, and it isn't completely perfect, but that's okay. You'll see why here in a few minutes. So here you can see there's about 3 inches on either end of that braid. And now we're going to go ahead and hammer this braid flat. This is what's going to help with that little bit of messiness. It'll refine that braid a little bit better, stretch it out, and make it look nicer. So we're going to hammer both sides flat. And there you can see how that looks now. And then we're also going to hammer that twisted piece. And we're going to do both sides just like we did the braid. So we're going to go all the way down, come back to the middle, then flip it over and do the other side just to straighten it back up again. So when you're hammering these, it will curl upward, and then when you flip it over, it makes it flat again. So there you can see the hammered twisted wire there. And now what I've done is cut that wire in half, so I have 2 8-inch pieces. And I've also cut the ends for a nice flush cut, so that way both ends look the same. And now I'm going to take those 2 twisted wires and put them up against the braided wire. So as you can see, those twisted wires run the length of that braid. Now, as you can see here in this picture, the middlemost wire of that braid is going to stay in the middle. And I'm going to take the wires that are on the outside of the braid to either side, the opposite side. So the left outside of the braid is going to the right outside of the braid is going to the left, and that middle wire is staying in the middle. I'm hoping this makes sense. I'm trying to explain this the best I can. It's a little difficult, but if you can just see that right there, and I'll show you again here in a moment with the other side. Those 2 side wires are right even with the twisted wire. So now we're going to go to the other side, and again, the wires that are on the left side of that braid are being pulled to the right, and the right side of the braid are pulling to the left, being pulled to the left, and then the wire that comes out of the middle of the braid is going straight up. Now notice those side twisted wires are right up against the wires that are out to the side. Now we're going to set those twisted wires to the side, and we're going to make our loop for the clasp to go through. So with that middle wire, I've bent it slightly to the left, and then with my looping pliers, I'm going to grab at the 7mm barrel and wrap the wire around that 7mm mandrel or barrel. And I'm going to wrap it nice and snug and tight. There you can see my loop. Now we're going to flip the piece over, and we're going to make the clasp. Now we're going to take our looping pliers again and grab right above the braid, and then wrap the wire around the 5mm barrel on the looping pliers and pull it straight down along the side of the braid. Next, we're going to grab our flush cutters and cut off the ends of this wire. We're going to cut right at the end of that braid, or right where those two wires come out the sides, like so. And you're going to see once I turn this, there you can see they're a little long, and I did that on purpose so that we can make a little loop at the end of this clasp. So I'm grabbing with the smallest part of my round nose pliers to make a tiny little loop at the end of this clasp. We don't want anything catching, so don't like to leave raw wire at the end for things to catch on it. So I'm going to go ahead and loop over the end here. There you can see the little loops there. And then I'm just going to fix my little clasp, reinserting that 5mm mandrel in there. And there you can see I've got a cute little clasp there. Now I'm going to grab my twisted wire, line them up side by side, and place them on top of the braid. Lined up nicely on the top, and lay them right on top of the braid, right next to each other on top of the braid. And grabbing the two wires on the right hand side, I'm going to pull them around to the front, the one, and then the second one right up underneath it to the front of this piece. And now I'm going to take the topmost piece and then the bottommost piece and wrap them around. And I'm just going to continue wrapping around the piece all the way, keeping these wires laying right up against each other. Just make them look as flat and nice as possible all the way around, and making sure it's really tight, because you want to make sure that this braid or the twisted wire does not come out of this bracelet. So we're going to do it nice and tight. And we're just going to continue wrapping until I run out of wire here. And notice I keep those up nice and snug to each other as best as I can. And I'm also going to take my chain nose pliers and make sure these wires are still really snugged up against each other. And now I'm going to do my last final wrap. So I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and pull the end of this tight as I can with the chain nose pliers. Like so. And now grabbing my flush cutters, I'm going to snip off the end of these wires about midway across my braid. Now grabbing my chain nose pliers again, I'm going to burnish those wires down against the bracelet and into that braid as much as I can. This just keeps those wires from catching or snagging on anything. Now I'm taking those twisted wires and kind of pulling them out to the side, and then I'm going to lay them up against the braid. So this just takes a little bit of adjusting and getting it to lay the way you want to, all the way up to the other side. They will try to spring out to the sides, but once you do the other side, it will hold the whole thing together. Now we're going to do the exact same thing on this loop side as we did with the clasp side. I lost a bit of footage, so I wasn't able to show you how I did that, but I did do the exact same thing as I did on the other side. Now here's those two extra wires that were just still hanging out. I'm going to snip those off with my flush cutters all the way close to those wraps, as close as I can. And I've done the same thing on the other side. And there you can see it's pretty much completed, except we need to now shape our bracelet. So there, we're going to bend it into a nice little oval shape for a wrist. I like to do the oval shape. Some people like round. I just tend to see most people's wrists are more oval than they are round. It just depends on your style and what you like. You can create it whatever way you want to. Now notice this bracelet kind of likes to spring back out. This just goes to show you that this bracelet is pretty hard and firm after hammering it all. And that's a good thing because you want it to stay in shape. It just takes a little extra work to get it shaped the way you want to. But this ensures that it's probably going to hold its shape very well. So here you can see I'm still getting that nice little oval shape. Some people use a mandrel, and you can do that if you have a bracelet mandrel. So here's the finished piece. And this is how the clasp works. Doesn't that just look beautiful? I like the way this looks. It has a little bit of an elegant look to it. You can dress it up or dress it down. And then that just kind of pops out like that. And you can just pull it right off. What did you guys think of this project? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What would you do differently if you don't like it? Let me know in the comments below. I sure appreciate all of your comments. So you could do all kinds of different things for this style of a bracelet. You could do 3 braids, 2 small ones on the outside with a larger one in the middle. You could do all twists if you wanted to. There's all different types of things you can do. You just need to be creative. And that's what I enjoy doing, is being creative. So go have some fun and be creative. If you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will see you all next Thursday. Thanks for watching.